He goes in verse 9, my Lord, my King, these men have done evil. All they have done to Jeremiah the prophet, whom they cast in the dungeon. You know, he had reverence for God's prophet, as it should be. He will likely die of hunger in that place. There's no bread in the city. That was the result. Verse 10.
Daily.
As
There's
Richie said
ready
there.
in 38.
They put him in. He's in the prison in the jail. But yeah. So it just explain what happened. That's what the Bible does sometimes.
But then it wouldn't have mentioned that.
All right, then we're at verse 11.
Yeah.
Why they put him there in the hall?
They put him in the dungeon because he was telling everybody that you need to surrender your life. If you want to live,
You have to surrender to the Chaldeans.
God said the word through Jeremiah. He told him to tell the king, tell the princess, tell everyone, if you're going to live, I'm with the Chaldeans. Surrender yourself and you'll live. And you're going to be there for 70 years, so get comfortable. Verse 14. Then Zedekiah the king sent and had Jeremiah and the prophet brought to him on the third interest. So here he is, he's bringing, the king's kind of doing this behind everyone's back. That's what he's kind of done in secret. He got these men, got the rope, tied these old rags together, created some kind of rope to put a lasso around Jeremiah and pull him up under his armpits with this right up to out.
Is because he's kind of, what do you call it, two-faced. He's doing what other people want, because he allowed them to put them in jail.
Afraid of that.
Well, who knew what happened to Jeremiah? They asked him.
Yeah, they told him.
Yeah, they asked him. He did nothing, so therefore, technically gave him permission.
Alright, 17 says, then Jeremiah said to Zedekiah, thus say the Lord, the God of hosts, the God of Israel, if you surely surrender to the king of Babylon, princes, then your soul shall live. So he's giving him a chance. Here's Jeremiah telling Zedekiah, you don't have to die. You and all your household don't have to die. You can just surrender yourself over to the king, the princes here of Babylon, of the Babylonians here. That your soul shall live. The city shall not be burned with fire. So many people are going to live if he just does that. Just if they will just surrender themselves. That God is the one telling, speaking through Babylonians, speaking through Jeremiah, that the Babylonians, are you in the hands of the Babylonians?
It doesn't say that.
Are you in the hands of the Babylonians?
It doesn't say that exactly.
Well, yeah, this is what he's saying. He says, then the
He
king.
says, I'm afraid.
Yeah. He says, I'm afraid of the Jews who have defected already to the Chaldeans. They're the ones that are going to bring it and show it. There's people in already with the Chaldeans who defected, who left already, who already surrendered themselves. They're the ones he's going to get in trouble with. They're the ones that are going to report on him. He's going to get back. He says, lest they deliver me into their hands, that they may abuse me. And maybe it's all just a trick in the first place. Maybe it's just.
It's not saying trick, it's more like.
That's what he's talking about. They're going to abuse me.
Mistreat me.
Mistreat me.
Yeah. It says here mistreat.
It's a deliver me into their hands. So yeah, out of the dungeon. But not when the words came back and said you got to surrender yourself. We knew that's not what he wanted to hear. What he wanted to hear is we're going to be victorious, that's what he wants to hear. He doesn't want those words. Well, go ahead and surrender yourself because God has handed over the city to the Babylonians. You don't want to hear that. And listen what he says. Obey the voice of the Lord, which I have spoken to you. You see, even if it's uncomfortable, we still always have to obey the voice of God. He's speaking through the prophet Jeremiah, and sometimes when it's something that he didn't want to do at all, what are you going to do? When we have that solution, we have that problem in front of us. When the cost is great, but we need to obey the voice of God.
And it is just a consequence of their sin.
Yes, it is. Of course, God is punishing them because all their wickedness, all their idol worships. That's not bad enough.
And we can see in this Old Testament how God was very directly talking to like Jeremiah.
He refused to surrender. So, verse 21. The will of the Lord, verse 20. Begging with him. How many times do we beg people to obey God? Obey God. Do what God says. But in verse 21,
Yeah, because
there is the refusal.
God knows what is going to happen. He knows everything.
But if you refuse, if you refuse to surrender,
this is the word of the Lord.
This is the word of the Lord. So God's giving an ultimatum, like life and death, like Moses said. Choose life and death. You want to live? You have to surrender yourself. You're going to be in the hands of the Babylonians. Now behold, all the women who are left in the king of Judah's house shall be surrendered to the king of Babylon's princes, and those women shall say, your close friends have set upon you, prevailed against you, your feet have sunk in the mire, and they have turned away again. So what is he worried about here?
Well, that's just a prophecy that his friends are going to, like...
The women will be left there, and they're going to be passing on the story.
Yeah, of what happened.
Mm-hmm. I live. You cannot escape from their hand. Remember, what did he promise? You surrender yourself to the city will be spared, it won't burn. You will live, and the city won't burn. But if you don't surrender, the wife and the children are going to survive. They're going to be remembering for all this story, what happened, how you had the opportunity but you didn't listen. Shall escape the king
This
of
is the
Babylon.
third one. It's burnt down and never rebuilt again. So the third one.
And the third temple.
No,
This
third
is Solomon.
temple.
There's only third temple.
Because when it gets burned, it doesn't go back again. Yeah.
Of course, it gets back again. Jesus came to the temple.
Not that. I'm talking about physically when they rebuild. I can't remember the last time when someone was rebuilt. It wasn't with the Romans.
The king built it.
This is the last time, right? Last time.
No. It's rebuilt again. This is Solomon's temple. The temple they're going to destroy here is Solomon's temple.
Well, then the next one, which one is this?
That was the
He's referring to the besiegement, because there was two.
Mm-hmm.
You have the first besiegement, and
Yeah,
then they
and
take
then
most of the captives, and then
Well,
after
that's
that,
Daniel.
Nebuchadnezzar comes back, and then
Yeah.
he burns the city and destroys it. This is towards the second end of the captivity.
So this is the last one.
Yeah, timeline-wise, you have the building of the temple by Solomon. Then after that, you have the northern kingdom being taken into captivity by Assyria.
yeah
Babylon
the
takes
conquerors.
southern kingdom, and they besiege. There's two besieged.
Yeah,
This will be the second part where, again, the city's finally burned. Then they go into captivity. They're there for 70 years to fulfill the prophecy of Jeremiah. Then they come back. Then they rebuild the temple. And remember, the older people are crying and weeping because it wasn't like the first glorious temple. Then after that, you have the period of the Maccabees and builds his temple. And then when Jesus comes, it would be Herod's temple. In
2000.
70 is when the Romans destroyed that temple, and
Yeah.
that fulfilled prophecy of Jesus in Matthew 24. And that also shows that he was a son of God, and that temple was not be rebuilt.
Mm-hmm.
And that shows the end of the law and the nation. And that gives us
and it's real because he said that temple that right there, you can see it in a video on YouTube, and it's there. And then a lot of people go always in the top to pray. You know, the Jewish people. I mean, everyone. You see the big wall that is. So under there, yeah, the wall, but it's there. It's real. It's real. So much. Yeah, I wanted to go there one day. Yeah, I wanted to go there one day. Actually, they came with the pieces of the Bible to the museum, and you went there, isn't it, to see the pieces of the Dead Sea Scrolls,
Oh, they
pieces
never
of the
actually got
Bible.
to see it for me.
Some people went there.
She never got to see it really.
Oh,
There was such a line,
oh, because it
remember?
was a lot of people. A lot of people went. Yeah, I noticed. But
Yeah, there was
they
a line. They weren't able to
they
get
bring a
there.
rock from that wall, and we touch it, and it was huge, cold, a real rock from that wall. I don't know how they read it in their airplane, but yeah, but it's real. All of this is real. What we're reading is real. There's archaeological places still there.
25.
No, sorry.
Yeah, I think we're down to 23. You shall not cause the city to be burned with fire, like we're saying. Happens. I presented my request before that he shall not make a return to that in South. So he's just saying he did meet with the king. He doesn't deny it. He just didn't tell him all the reasons. Then all the princes came to Jeremiah and asked, and told them according to these words that the king had commanded. So they stopped speaking with him, which is good. The conversation has been heard. Now Jeremiah remained in the court. See, he's still in prison, but he's just in a better place. Not in the dungeon. He's in the court prison until the day that Jerusalem was taken. So he's there the whole time.
Still the kingdom of Babylon has been free. Nebuchadnezzar has been free.
People are down there on the ground. About he sits over in his tower.
That's because they believe that he